I'm a dance artist, and basically people ask like, what is that? Like, do you paint with your body, or do you body paint, or like, is it kind of a choreography, or how are you engaged in dancing and all this kind of stuff? But just want to remind you of like stereotypes about dancing and body in this connection, so you would be more engaged of what contemporary dance nowadays is. Like, people used to think that dancing is basically like something social or something very scenic or something very clubby or street stylish, let's say. So people again try to fall into form when they speak about dancing. Well, actually, it's not like that anymore. Because since modern days, since I don't know, like let's say since contemporary art has vanished into the cultural atmosphere, the perception of dance itself has changed a lot, and the training has changed a lot. So if you would see people who are doing belly dancing for like ages, and they train to do this to perform certain suites on stage, this is still happening, but this is not modern. What you would do afterwards, you reinvent the dancing, you reinvent the movement, you reinvent the choreography, and this is what people and artists have been doing like their whole lives, let's say. If the name of Isadora Duncan tells you anything, this was one of the pioneers of contemporary dancing, and she was the one who like ripped off her ballet shoes and was dancing without any bra, which was very, let's say, unique and revolutionary in her own era. What people do nowadays, they tend to train not for technique and not for skills anymore. They try to train for concepts, and therefore we're past this age of let's say training for, I don't know, best splits or best handstands. We are training for movement research, and we're training for performance research, etc. So there are a variety of performances people do in Europe, like mixing football players with the dancers and making an exception of like what is to pass something. And you, like, your whole rehearsal process is based on like how you engage your feet and your whole body with this item, with the ball, and what can be done with the ball. And it can be ended like with people not just passing the ball as a football game, but rather than speculating on the ball itself and its form and implementing the form of the ball in their bodies. I'm just making up ideas right now, so it will be a bit of clear for you. With this in mind, people stopped doing like pliés or exercises if you were in belly dancing, but they started implementing new versions of movement exercises. So therefore, animal flow or calisthenics or let's say martial arts are very beneficial. I just want to show you, because it's kind of wasteless to speak about dancing without any videos. You can follow your link here. I just recommend doing that before I switch to the website itself. I'm curious about what is behind the QR code. No news from it. So, yeah, let me know if you are done. Yeah. Good. In a variety of ways, people think of researching the movement itself. For example, this is Louis, my dear friend, who is teaching soft acrobatics. You won't see any gymnastic moves that are not reflected upon. He's literally catching the flow and researching how he's doing that. It's not stuck into the tradition. He allows mistakes to happen, he allows failures, he allows some virtuosic things at the same time to be performed in the moment. A lot has changed to contemporary dancing since this maestro, who is David Zambrano, and like contemporary dance is well known for rolling on the floor and stuff like why you, I don't know, like caressing stairs or why are you rolling in the mud. This is all because people tried to let go of the idea of the verticality itself, because belly was seen as a very hierarchical structure, and it was like belly was initially introduced as something for the kings and queens to see, and the whole audience was seated. So I don't know, if you're not the king and queen, you will not see the best performance, basically. And contemporary dancing suits like democratic audiences, so you're not divided into kings and queens, and you can see everything from everywhere, and you use your body everywhere, like literally everywhere. You can roll on the floor, you can climb on the stairs, you can do whatever. And I guess this is very much connected to Sam's presentation of is it normal and how to be normal or unique in this sense. And it is all, again, coming to what is like, how do people dance with each other? So a lot of people were thinking of dancing as something, you know, you grab someone by the waist, or, you know, you just, I don't know, you stand in front of the person and you never touch. But actually, like a lot of concepts of like approaching the other person on dancing in duos is based on contact improvisation and therefore partnering. And contact improvisation was introduced by Steve Paxton, who was again a modern dancer who lived in New York in the 60s, and they were all gone crazy about the like structures of belly dancing and modern dancing and Mardi Gras and stuff like that. And they were exploring how martial arts can actually benefit. So this is very risky what they are doing, and they were practicing on tatamis, like falls that would come from, let's say, Aikido or Judo, or they were practicing something from grappling or Jiu-Jitsu or Capoeira, and this is how martial arts came into the sphere of contemporary dancing in general. And after that, after this crazy exploration, I would say, people tended to create choreographies afterwards. So you can still see that people use different levels. They're not stuck vertical anymore. They fall, they roll, they touch each other, they use pressure, they use their body weight, they use other person's body weight, they use the floor's body weight. So there is a lot of virtuosity in that, and for that you can't just train with a simple belly technique. You need to exercise everything. You need to exercise your reaction, you need to exercise your mobility, you need to exercise your arm straight, not just splits. You need to exercise how you communicate with a different person, because it's not just being pushy, it's also about being tender and receiving the other person's energy and exploring it and improvising with it. So with this in mind, contemporary dancing went into a multidisciplinary approach. Basically, this is something Vincent will know. It's about fighting monkey techniques and practices, which came up to basically movement research, because they don't call themselves dancers anymore. They call themselves movement researchers, which is very relevant. You don't just do a dance, you don't just do a sequence. You use everything that other disciplines, let's say martial arts or rugby or, I don't know, basketball even, soccer, fitness industry has gave you to train your reaction and to train your speed and to train your mobility and to train, which is more important, your creativity. So there will be no limits in your movement, and you would be as virtuosic in your body as you can be virtuosic in your mind. But that's a whole new concept of how we describe dancing, and if like standing with one arm hang up is a dance or not. And coming to what Nikita has shared, let's say, how do people evolve into nature? Because, for example, Tomislav English was a great dancer and still is a great teacher, but mostly a good coach nowadays and a great researcher. He founded this movement of which can be translated as like fierce soul, unknown land, and he basically refuses training inside the studio or in the world. So they are not they're equipped. So you would be like, you know, a baby in a box, let's say. You're already limited in this scenario. While with nature, you face something you will never face in a studio, like I don't know, like stones or the trees that will crunch you, basically, and like the wind, how it influences your body, how it influences your movement. And we've been doing this a lot in Georgia with the Movement Out laboratory. We've been traveling around every Saturday to explore different landscapes. So a lot of movement concepts, and let's again call it a choreography or whatever, are coming from this idea how you can persuade nature and what it gives you in your body, basically embodied. And a lot of these concepts are coming from Eric Franklin ideas of embodiment, everything, which is very psychological again. So I guess you do have questions, and you can ask me them now, or you can follow me on Instagram and ask me later if you have anything in mind, and I can share the presentation with you. Thank you.
What to start with if someone is completely new to the dances, and where to train in Tbilisi, whom to learn it?
I would recommend checking Contemporary Dance in Tbilisi, which is a Telegram group one of my friends created. Because it's like, contemporary dancing is very community based, because it's low funded, so you do it yourself most of the time, and it's peer to peer. And a lot of dancers are just gathering. Like, we have our own classes for, like, let's say choreographers or dancers who are professionals, and you would find it hard to train with anyone because people are rarely traveling to Tbilisi. But anyways, coming to your question, Contemporary Dance in Tbilisi is the group, and you can train with many people. I don't want to do self-promotion here, but there are many people you can train with, basically. And there are many people who are doing contemporary dance basics elements. Like you would start with rolling with the floor, you would start with like applying your body weight on all fours and exploring like the 3 dimensions of your movement, like what you can do upside, vertical, what you can do downside. There are many, not like many, but there are a few people I know in this audience who are attending these classes. I don't know if I can outshadow you. Yeah, but there are people you can ask upon like their experiences, what it is to be. I don't know if you are brand new to dancing, but yeah, there are people you can ask here about like their experiences with starting with contemporary dancing. And like, what's the most important? It's not like in a ballet you like need to train to do something, you know. You know, like, because you basically train to do a pirouette and stay on point and choose. You go with the flow. Okay, I hate this, but you go with the basic elements, and like it's already in you because it's anatomical. So you work with your joints, and you work with your body weight, and you work with how your skeleton structure is already existing. You know, you don't have to break anything. You just have to find your body weight and how it flows. You know.
Sounds good. I don't have to break anything. I like
yeah. No tension. I mean, there is, but it's also kind of like, I also hate when people assume contemporary dancing. It's not ecstatic dance, and I want to draw a fine line upon that, because when people assume like dance improvisation was gonna be just like, you know, just shaking and I don't know, letting the devils out or bad emotions. Yeah, this is not that. This is not that. This is something. This is very. You think a lot when you dance. So you think of what you're engaging. I don't know, for example, you think of your thumb and like how your thumb follows, you know, and like if you engage your shoulder blade and then you engage your whole body and then you engage your pelvis and then you engage your...
And then you're on the floor.
Yeah, and then, you're exploring in this sense. Yeah, but you have an idea of your improvisation, like be it like how tough my bones are or how I can create a spiral with my whole body. But nobody gives this on like basic elementary classes. I mean, if you come into improvisation is something like very different from technical classes. Because on technical classes you will still learn how to roll, how to do stuff, because it's basically like learning a new language. Nobody's gonna throw you to advanced level of English-speaking club if you barely know the alphabet, right? So, again, to dance you need to speak the language. So you need to know some words from the language you're speaking. Yeah, body language, exactly. Yeah. Any other questions? Huh?
Nicely said.
Yeah.
Can I ask something? First of all, it was very interesting presentation. I didn't know about this dancing culture. I know this when you talk about the sequences and movements from animal flow, but in martial arts. My question is, do you think since it's from the dancing culture and now it's implemented in those aspects, those, for example, in MMA, in animal flow, I think it's more popular. Because
for sure.
Yeah, I didn't know about this. Do you think the role of this dancing culture decrease in terms of those other exercises?
I think there are things that are more, let's say, more commercial in a sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so martial arts are result-based, right? You need to beat someone. You need to kind of, you need to win a fight, right? There is a goal. In a dancing, there is a goal to make a choreography or to perform something. People in many countries have hard times finding budget for arts in general. So therefore, it's going more underground. Therefore, it's kind of like, let's say, less influential or less popular. But if you would see, I don't know, MTV, or if you, who watches MTV nowadays? I don't know, if you would ever watch, I don't know, any dance trailer or anything, you would see how it involves, you know? Like, I don't know, watch Sia trailers with like dance moves, you know? You would find a bit of work there, you would find a bit of floor work there. See like Beyonce performances also, you know, a lot of drops, you see a lot of floor work there. Or there are guys, calisthenics for example, two guys who are dancing with Beyonce their whole life. They are officially from the hip hop scene. So I've been dancing with them 10 years ago, and they were like, hey, you know, we're just kind of like, I don't know, Black and Furious, but now they're dancing for a pop star, you know, and doing the choreo every time based on their kind of like street background. So it's kind of that it transforms, it goes to other places, I would say. And for animal flow, it's also, I mean, animal flow is a fitness thing, so it stays in the fitness culture. You basically, to my mind, animal flow is something like you hate doing yoga and you want something more dynamic, you know? And you're like, okay, something I can stretch and at the same time, you know, work on. And
No,
then,
I actually find the very, very like close similarity to dancing and
yeah.
very, very.
Yeah, Yeah, there are classes in Tbilisi, like how you combine animal flow and dancing actually. So when I go to Vincent animal flow classes, this is basically the roles we're doing to warm up. So animal flow is nice for dancers to warm up. Yeah. So yeah, everything. I just want to point out that everything is very interconnected, and there are. You may not see these connections, but if you're deep into something, you will eventually find that everything is interconnected if you're working with your body in sense of movement, you know? Because like what Sasha Tikamir was doing on his classes, for example, with kickboxing, he also like, he's doing these things, you know, like when you need to, you know, like, yeah, like you need, or what Timur is doing on Muay Thai, you know, like doing this basketball warm-up game to catch the ball, you know, it's all based on reaction. And it's what Fighting Monkey has been doing, I don't know, past 10 years. But, I don't know if you have any other questions, but I guess I took more than 15 minutes. And we have to switch to the second.